Well, speaking of those Microsoft exclusives, Phantom Dust, a reboot of a 2005, I think, cult favorite.
Cult is putting it strongly. I previously, before I came to IGN, I worked at Official Xbox Magazine for about 10 years, and I never played this game. That's how sort of...
I've
never played the original Phantom Dust.
Phantom Dust. That surprises me a little bit, given your background, but...
Can't play them all.
No, you can't,
most of them.
What's happening?
So, first of all, a reboot was announced at E3
Yes, I remember that.
And I screwed up like a little girl.
It's a card. It's a card battle game.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the original was a card battle game, so they announced they were rebooting it. And then Microsoft has been hyping it recently, talking about how it's a 30-hour-long Japanese RPG.
Ken Lobb went on a podcast.
But then news came this week that the developer, Darkside Games, of this reboot was shut down.
Microsoft terminated the contract with them.
So what is the situation? This is a developer that's been around for a while, and they do contract work on Borderlands pre-sequel, Sunset Overdrive, Gears of War Judgment, and now they're developing Phantom Dust. And then Microsoft terminates their contract, and the studio has to shut down immediately?
Yeah,
it's weird, right?
It says, it gives me bad vibes, and I've never been... I don't think I've screamed so loud as an adult when they announced this reboot. I mean, I was so excited. I put so many hours into this game with my friends when it originally came out on Xbox Live. It was like this and Halo 2 were like my two probably most played Xbox Live games.
So number one, any faint hope anyone may have had of this being a 2015 game, which they never even set a date.
Right, that's gone. Right, sure. And I'm fine with that. I guess what concerns me more than anything is. So when they said they were making it like a 30-plus hour JRPG framework for the game, that sounded intriguing to me because I do like RPGs, and I feel like what they do, where it's like you're basically trying to obtain rare cards to make your deck more powerful and become a stronger, fighter. That kind of fits well into the framework of an RPG, I think. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it was going to be maybe a little bit too much extra fluff around what I want to do, which is just get into these multiplayer card battles. So I'm wondering if maybe that the vision that they started to set out for themselves and started to execute on maybe wasn't close enough to the original vision, and they wanted to scrap it and go from scratch and make it more like what the original was. But that could be kind of wishful thinking. I'm afraid it's the other way around.
Maybe. It really could be anything because we don't know. It could be Microsoft wasn't happy with the direction, so they pulled the plug. It could be the developer, who knows? I mean, it's not necessarily the fault of one side or another. We may never know, but I was thinking, who would be good in the spirit of this game, who would be good to take it on? And the one studio that came to mind is, because I believe they're independent, they're available, Stainless Games, the guys that do the Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Except that the last one was such a debacle. The last Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers.
Isn't the new one better?
Well, they fixed it. They tweaked it, but...
Yeah. So real talk, I think I've been getting... I thought Phantom Dust was a game about giant mechs. So I think I was getting confused with Chrome Hounds.
I think you were.
There was a game called Chrome Hounds.
Yeah, Chrome Hounds is awesome. Software. I love Chrome Hounds.
From made that game.
Yeah, From made that game. It's a From game.
Pretty ambitious online.
Very ambitious, Had this whole persistent online war. Very, very cool game. But I'm just afraid that what this is actually going to be now is them going, a 3D multiplayer card battle game. Ain't no one gonna play that. Well, let's put in chainsaw guns, and just gonna make it like a.
I actually am a little. I have a suspicion, and I hope I'm not just being pessimistic. I hope this doesn't happen, but I would not be surprised if that game just never comes out at this point. Like it just sort of quietly fades off. I mean, it was the most surprising announcement for me at Microsoft's E3 because it's like of all the interesting little IPs that Microsoft has in the vault, particularly from the original Xbox days. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Phantom Dust would not have been the one I would have thought of to bring back.
For me, it was absolutely the first one on my mind. If you told me what's a weird Microsoft IP that they've been sitting on for a while that you'd love to see come back, Phantom Dust would absolutely be the first thing that I would come out of my mouth because it was an underappreciated game. It was so ahead of its time in terms of its online functionality and just the way they made basically a 3D action game out of what's essentially a card based deck building game was just brilliant design and the art was amazing.
I don't know if you said this, Damon, but Microsoft did claim that the game is still in development.
Yeah, they said development will continue.
We just don't know where.
Yeah.
Also, real talk, this girl's got a weird coat. Like, look how high that thing goes up, and then it's got a buckle. Like, she's putting her buckle around her face.
Where she lives, it's very cold, so she needs to like zip up. It's like a turtleneck.
And there's dust everywhere, so you don't want to breathe that in. It's like wearing
and
masks and shit.
they're reversed to hats.
Worse than asbestos.
Asbestos.
And they've got and they're reversed to hats, so you need your collar to cover your ears completely.
Makes sense.
That is a new way to pop a collar right there. That is taking it to the next level.
That collar is super popped.
Yeah.
I really like collectible card games, so I really like the idea of a modern, first-party funded collectible card
Blizzard
game
will just
for
take over.
Xbox One. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So
Blizzard would knock it out of the. I mean, it's not obviously never going to happen. But when you talk about a developer that I think would absolutely nail it, like that combination of taking the kind of more cerebral, deliberate kind of card collecting and deck building game, but then make it something that's charismatic and fun. Yeah, Hearth Dust. I'll play the hell out of that game.
Hearthstone already has dust. So
Right. So there you go. Conspiracy. We figured it out. We know who's developing it.
Crack the code.